The words caught in my throat the moment she stepped closer, lowered her eyes, and whispered something I never expected to hear. "My father said you needed a wife." For a second, the world around me seemed to stand still beneath the bright afternoon sun. The laughter from the nearby cafe tables faded, the sound of traffic became distant, and all I could see was the sincerity in her expression. After years of loneliness, heartbreak, and convincing myself that I was stronger alone, I found myself answering with a trembling smile. He was right. Before we begin this unforgettable journey, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories if you believe that kindness, love, and second chances still have the power to change lives forever. At 38 years old, Rowan Mercer had built a life that looked complete from the outside. He owned a small architectural firm, lived in a cozy house surrounded by flowering trees, and had earned the respect of colleagues throughout the city. But behind the polished image was a man carrying silent grief. 5 years earlier, he had lost his fiancée in a tragic accident just months before their wedding day. Since then, Rowan had buried himself in work, believing that success could somehow fill the emptiness that echoed through his home every evening. Friends invited him to gatherings, family members encouraged him to meet someone new, but he always declined with a polite smile. The truth was that he feared opening his heart again. Losing someone he loved had taught him how fragile happiness could be, and he preferred the certainty of solitude over the risk of another heartbreak. Every Sunday afternoon, Rowan visited a small neighborhood bookstore owned by an elderly man named Elias Bennett. The bookstore was warm, peaceful, and filled with sunlight pouring through large windows. Elias had become more than a bookseller. He had become a mentor, a friend, and almost a father figure. They spent hours discussing literature, life, and the choices people make when they are afraid of being vulnerable. Elias often spoke about companionship. He believed people were not meant to carry their burdens alone. Rowan would laugh gently and change the subject, insisting that his life was perfectly fine as it was. Yet Elias always looked at him with knowing eyes, as if he could see through every carefully constructed wall surrounding Rowan's heart. One spring morning, Rowan arrived at the bookstore and found it unusually quiet. Elias sat near the window with a thoughtful expression and introduced him to his daughter, Maren Bennett, a 33-year-old photographer who had recently returned home after years of traveling across the country documenting human stories. She possessed an easy smile, warm hazel eyes, and a calm presence that immediately made others feel comfortable. Over the following weeks, Rowan encountered Maren frequently. Sometimes she helped organize books, other times she shared photographs capturing ordinary people experiencing extraordinary moments of kindness. She spoke passionately about finding beauty in everyday life, while Rowan listened, slowly rediscovering emotions he had long ignored. Then came the day Elias suffered a minor health scare. Though he recovered quickly, the incident reminded everyone that time was precious. Maren began spending more hours at the bookstore, helping her father, while Rowan volunteered whenever he could. Together they sorted books, rearranged shelves, and shared coffee during sunny afternoons. Gradually, Rowan found himself smiling more often. The silence in his house no longer felt comforting, it felt lonely. For the first time in years, he imagined what it might be like to come home to someone waiting for him, someone who understood that healing wasn't about forgetting the past but learning to embrace the future. A few months later, Elias invited Rowan and Maren to a community picnic in the town square. Children played beneath the clear blue sky, musicians performed soft melodies, and families gathered under colorful umbrellas. As the afternoon sun illuminated the park, Elias quietly excused himself, leaving Rowan and Maren sitting together on a bench beneath a blossoming tree. That was when Maren finally confessed what her father had told her. He had often spoken about Rowan's kindness, resilience, and hidden loneliness. He believed Rowan deserved happiness again. She looked down shyly before saying, "My father said you needed a wife." Rowan laughed softly, feeling tears gathering in his eyes. Years of grief, fear, and isolation seemed to melt away in that single moment. He looked at her and answered honestly. He was right. Love did not erase Rowan's pain, nor did it replace the memories he cherished. Instead, it taught him that hearts are capable of holding both sorrow and joy at the same time. Some people enter our lives not to make us forget where we've been, but to remind us that there is still beauty waiting ahead. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories. Your support allows us to continue sharing meaningful stories that inspire hope, compassion, and healing. Special request: comment below with the words "Second chances exist" if you believe love can find us again when we least expect it.